Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. It is April 23rd. I apologize that there has been a little bit of delay in content the last couple of days. My videos aren't posting. I won't say more about it because then this video won't post either. So we're going to see how this goes. But I did want to come in and I did want to talk to you a little bit about the situation with FBI Director Kash Patel. Hello, if you're new here, my name is JJ Hastings. I am a lot of things, a writer, an educator, a chaos gremlin, a muckraker. I come to you every day with news content that you need to know. I try to present it to you without bias, without clickbait, without rage bait, and without nonsense so that you actually understand what people are talking about when you hear these stories being talked about. So I want to break this down. I do have some notes here, so you'll see me referencing those. Everything I'm telling you is based on major reporting from The Atlantic, The New York Times, The Guardian, etc. So first thing first, Kash Patel, FBI director, as of right now, is at the center of multiple high-profile controversies involving his personal conduct, alleged misuse of federal resources, and his aggressive anti-constitutional actions towards the press. So the first thing we want to talk about is those allegations of excessive drinking. That is what you have likely heard about by now. So just like a week or so, has it even been a week in the last couple of days? The Atlantic published a deeply sourced report detailing concerns among current and former FBI officials regarding Patel's sobriety and his professional reliability. So the allegations say, according to these sources, Patel is described as engaging in quote-unquote conspicuous inebriation, end quote, and also, quote, alcohol-fueled nights, end quote, that led to meetings and briefings being rescheduled for later in the day. So this is fancy language for basically saying allegedly Kash Patel was out on Rio Raucous benders quite often, drunk to the point that he could not perform his duties at a reasonable hour in the morning, and things had to be rescheduled in order for him to have his little hangover time. Additionally, the report cites an incident on April 10th you've likely heard of by now, where insiders claim Patel allegedly had a, quote, freak out, believing he had been fired after a technical error prevented him from logging into his internal FBI systems. Now, according to those reported allegations from those insiders, they say he began calling his friends and colleagues in a panic that he had been fired because he could not access his computer. Additionally, and I think most alarmingly, the report claimed that on at least one occasion, members of his security detail struggled to wake him up from behind locked doors to the point that they had to give a request for breaching equipment to essentially be able to break into his room and get proof of life, is how I am reading this. So again, this is all fancy talk to say allegedly Kash Patel is so zonked out on bang-a-roonies at night that he's passing out black stone cold in his room behind a closed door, not showing up or able to get in touch with for his AM meetings, to the point that his security detail has to John Cena his bedroom door down to make sure he is alive. Now, Patel has vehemently denied these claims on multiple places and on many stages, calling them, quote, malicious falsehoods, and claiming that this is a hit piece. And on April 20th, filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit against The Atlantic and the reporter of that story, Sarah Fitzpatrick. So going to be keeping an eye on that one. Now, mind you, just yesterday or the day before, a judge handing down a verdict in a side defamation case, I believe, that Kash Patel had brought against someone. That trial or that case being tossed, with the judge saying any person of reasonable intelligence would have been able to tell that this was not defamatory the way that this reporting was done in a different piece that he had tied up in the courts. So we'll see if this becomes a double loser scenario for Patel. Now, the second controversy is around his misuse of FBI resources. Multiple reports, and we've been hearing this, I think, for almost a year now, have surfaced regarding Patel's alleged use of Bureau's specialized assets for his girlfriend, the country singer Alexis Wilkins. So the first is a security detail. Many reports coming out over the last couple of months indicating that Patel allegedly ordered the use of federal personnel, including in one instance a whole SWAT team, to provide both security and transportation for his girlfriend. Additionally, facing scrutiny for allegedly using the FBI's private jet for personal travel with Wilkins, including trips to concerts, wrestling and fighting events, and also using that private jet when he's not there, allegedly allowing Wilkins and her friends to use that FBI jet as a private plane, essentially. Now, these incidents have prompted demands from House Democrats for a formal investigation into the misuse of taxpayer funded resources for non government personnel. The third controversy is his retaliation against journalists using FBI investigative powers to target specific reporters who publish critical stories about him, an absolute violation of the First Amendment. So the first is the Elizabeth Williamson case. After New York Times reporter Elizabeth Williamson published details about Patel's girlfriend using FBI security, like I just mentioned, the FBI reportedly opened an investigation into her for stalking. Now, agents reportedly interviewed Wilkins and searched databases for information on the reporter Williamson. The investigation reportedly only halted after Justice Department officials intervened, fearing that it was in fact a retaliatory act without legal basis. Insiders claiming and alleging that Patel straight up using FBI investigative resources to try to dig up dirt on a reporter for reporting on his girlfriend's use of government resources. And so in late April of 2026, Patel was filmed in a heated exchange during a briefing, calling reporters liars and accusing the fake news mafia, quote unquote, of trying to sabotage his alleged leadership at the FBI. Now, Patel remains a very polarizing figure with, to our knowledge, strong backing from President Trump, while critics and some internal FBI staff view his behavior as a national security vulnerability, some even going as far to claim that perhaps his girlfriend is a honeypot. His supporters argue that these allegations are just more of the same deep state in their efforts to remove a loyalist who is actively purging the Bureau of Political Bias. Now, since taking office, Patel has fired numerous agents who were involved in previous investigations into Donald Trump, including that Mar-a-Lago records case. So, Patel saying none of this is true, folks coming out of the woodworks to tell reporters it is true, and some, not news bureaus, but news pundits are claiming that their insiders in DC and in the White House are telling them that the tides behind the scenes might be changing related to Trump's loyalty to Kash Patel. Now, I will say I don't think Trump has loyalty to anyone but himself, and because of that, really does not like when anyone in his orbit makes him look bad. And while he can do that all on his own, Patel here really not doing a good job of making this Trump leadership team look capable. So that, I know, was a quick and dirty breakdown of all of the things people are talking about with Kash Patel. Please let me know down below what your questions are, and if I can, I will try to answer them for you. As always, my name is JJ Hastings, and I'll see you in the next one.